Four Roses is doing a brilliant thing and putting out all their recipes in this single barrel variety. So we got to do a recipe battle here on Drams for Dummies. Round 2, OESK. Stay with me and see what this dummy thinks about it. Hello and welcome back to Drams for Dummies. I, of course, am the king of all the dummies, Brett, and I appreciate you for being here. If you're just joining us for the first time and you're just seeing this, I am in the middle of the Four Roses recipe battle. Quick. Four Roses single barrel product. You've seen this cool bottle on the shelves before, but it's the OBSV that's been sitting there for a long time as the only recipe being represented in that single barrel collection. And Four Roses had the brilliant idea of saying, wait a minute, what if we just put all the recipes out and then dorks like Brett and some of the dorks that are watching me here will think, well, I want to try them all now. I want to compare them. I want to blind them. I want to rate them. And now what do? We have 10 different recipes at around $50 a bottle. And oh my gosh, they're making $500 from me and I don't even mind spending it because it's just $50 a bottle times 10 versus putting out these big, bigger, better, badder, limited edition, for $250 or $300, and people are like, nah. First of all, they don't see them because they never hit the shelves because they're allocated, and they go to, the cool people behind the counter, under the counter, whatever you want to say, and then if sometimes people are seeing, like, I can't justify $300 for a bottle, but I can justify $50, and I can do it 10 times. So from a money making standpoint, and a marketing standpoint, brilliant, but also just awesome of them. Like, this brand is unique. They have 2 different mash bills, B and E. B is their high rye, E is their low rye. Then they have 5 different yeast strains, and each yeast strain brings out a different set of flavors. So they've got these 10 possible different recipes. This is a blast that they're actually going to let dorks like me and you maybe kind of see what these are all about. So I'm just getting started on this. We did OBSV in its own episode. They're all going to get their own episodes so that they're not sullying each other back to back. It's just they get their own review and their own vacuum. And we'll see if any of them stand head and shoulders above any of the others. When we get to the end, when I can finally collect all 10, whether that's in a month or a year or 2 years or whatever, hopefully not that long, then the whole thing is probably not a good experiment anymore. If we have ties in the top 2 and 3 and 4, then we might do a little blind episode just to declare an ultimate recipe winner as far as this dummy's palate is concerned. So, having said all that, a couple of the other notes of this is the OESK, so this is the lower rye mash bill, and then it's the K yeast strain, and I am not going to pull up the cheat sheet to show anyone's tasting notes or nosing notes or notes over what each yeast should do. I don't want to know because that'll sway me. I want to just live in the dummy world of going, what's in the glass? Do I like it? Here's what I think about it. They are 100 proof. If you know me, I am a proof whore, so I would love a little higher proof. They want to do a barrel proof version of this series. Now we're talking. As it is, 100 proof, 7 to 9 years age, which is a great age statement. $50-ish a bottle. Great product. Love what they're doing. Let's see how the OESK stands up. At this point, the OBSV is in the lead because it's a race of 1. I would like to say that the bar set by the OBSV is going to be attainable and some other recipe is going to beat it, but we shall see. It's got it has a lot going on. I'm not going to keep comparing it, except for a while I'm going to forget what recipes are what. This feels deeper and richer than I'm used to with the Four Roses single barrel collection. This has got baking spices. This has got kind of that doughy, yeasty quality to it, which again can be off-putting, but it really feels like it's kind of a well-rounded nice baked good. I don't know. I got distracted by the cats over there. I lost all my thought. But there's also up floating above this sort of rich, bready, oaky thing down here is this sort of sweet confectionery, sugary, bubblegummy almost. But again, it's lacking that, or maybe that higher rye mash bill brings that cinnamon spice kick in there. You're not really getting that here. There's a little bit of sizzle in there, but it's not. It's really, everything is just working really well together in this recipe. Yeah, that's really, really good. It's creamy, it's rich, it's sweet, it's got depth, it's a little different every time. I love that. I'm gonna give it a 9. I just feel I don't do halves anymore. That would be an 8.5 for me if I was gonna be on the half scale. But we're just gonna go right all the way up. That's a freaking amazing nose. That's really damn good. I don't think, just based on proof and my experience, I don't know if the palate and the finish are going to hold up to that 9 level, but that's a good start. And that would definitely get it in a good, get it heading towards first place in this battle of 2 so far. But at some point, battle of 10. That's so good. That's the crawl in the glass nose. That's the bathe in it, wear it like cologne nose. Oh, it's good. It's different every time. It's so good. All right. 9 on the nose. Amazing nose for this OESK. Let's roll to the palate, see what it's doing. Okay. Yeah, it's not going to be amazing. I'm going to, spoiler alert, it's not a 9. Got to figure out where it is. Much like the first recipe I was battling, I think the 100 proof kind of, them having to water it down to 100 is, it's off-putting, right? I just don't like, I don't love lower proof things. They have a 7 to 9 year juice with an amazing nose, and then it gets in the palate and it just sort of, it's there, it's nice, it's got a little bit of viscous, but it mostly just feels like it gets watery very quickly and dissipates. I want a little bit more going on. But let me go again, have a second pull of it, and see what I think the score really is. Still really like the nose, though. A little nutty. That bakery quality, whether it's baking spice, whether it's yeasty, whether it's bready, just that sort of having a nice roll is still in there. And it's the whole thing has some of those qualities of a good bourbon, of being comforting and kind of a warm hug to it. But that watery, that back half of the palate where it gets really watery and just dissipates, really ruins the palate as far as how good it can be. Still good, still not offensive. But again, I was said about the prior one, do you think to yourself, man, I want to have a pull, as just a straight pull of that, a straight dram of that tonight, and just really savor all of these rich flavors. And I don't think you necessarily do that necessarily. I'm going summary in the middle, like I like to do with that palate. I feel like we're thinking really good cocktail again, you know. But let me do one more quick drink. I think I know where this is. It's pretty good. It's a 6. It's a 6 palate. It's just pretty good. It's fine. It's above average. It's pretty good. Spoiler alert: the OBSV was an average, so we're still beating the OBSV. So we had a 6 on the palate, pretty good. Let's see what the finish is doing and see how we can wrap this thing up. Wow. Is that what you want to do at the end of a nice drink? Is just blah. Very similar to the OBSV. Spoiler alert, but don't go watch it because there's magic in there. The The very tail end of the palate gets a little bit more of the subtleties and richness comes out in the back end, which then starts that finish, and the finish kind of takes that, and it again doesn't mess anything up. It continues that sort of little bit of the subtleties and richness, but very quickly it's like, and we're out. Kind of like the palate starts off with a, hey, there's a flavor, and it's gone. The finish does the same thing. Here's a flavor, and it's gone again. It's watered down. It's out. And then the back, maybe again because of the water, is the watering down is kind of that bleh, just kind of wet rag, just like there's not a flavor at the very back that you don't, that like is pleasing. You would like to kind of take a drink of water and wash that down. That's not what you're looking for. So it's a 5. It's an average. It almost, sometimes that drink before hit me up worse, which would take it down to like the not my jam or poor, or I don't even know what my 3 is labeled, but it would be down in that 3-4 range. We're going to wrap this up with final scores here. So our nose was, I gave it an amazing, a 9. I really enjoyed the nose. It's definitely the highlight of the bottle of this OESK. And then the palate is pretty squarely in a pretty good. It's just basic, average, but a little above average. And I'm going to be nice and round it to the 6. And then the finish is, if anything, is tending towards the lower side, towards the 4. But we're just going to say, you know what? It really is not doing anything to turn me off. It's just not really doing anything to help its cause or to make me happy. So we're just going to call it an average at 5. So that's a 9 nose, 6 palate, 5 finish. That is 15. That's a 20. So a 20 divided by 3 is a 6.7. Okay. That rounds up to a 7. 7 is a good bottle. I'm comfortable with that. OESK single barrel 4 roses is a good bottle. And at $50, I would say the value is there. Head on to it for the 4 roses single barrel OESK review within this recipe battle. I'm going to tell you right now, the OESK in the battle of 2 so far is number 1. And the OBSV is number 2. Coming up next is the OBSF. Let's see how that shakes things up. And then hopefully we'll start getting the other 7 recipes here really soon. Love you guys. Love what you're doing. As long as what you're doing is being really nice to everyone around you. Don't be an ass. And you're subscribing and liking this channel and following, sharing with the other dummy friends, all that stuff. Love you guys.